Welcome back to my channel, guys. At the time that I'm making this video, it is June of 2026. So June, of course, is Pride Month, and things feel a little bit different to me this year with Pride. Now, I don't know if it's just in my head. I don't know if you guys share the same observations, but it feels like there's less intense focus than previous years, particularly when it comes to campaigns like corporate branding with campaigns around pride. I remember just a few years ago, I had made a video about this that I personally felt it was overload and it felt disingenuous how suddenly all these brands like Target were all about celebrating pride and LGBT people. And it feels like this June, not only am I not seeing the same level of intensity, but I feel like I'm seeing almost none. Now, again, is this just in my head? Are you guys seeing the same thing? Let me know in the comments. But interestingly, I don't remember where I saw this. I want to say it was definitely a news source. I want to say it was CNN. I saw this headline that was claiming the tide is kind of turning on pride and that all these polls are indicating that the support for pride and LGBT people is on the decline. So I did some research on this that I want to share with you, some quick stats and polls that indicate that indeed things are kind of shifting right now around the acceptance of pride themes and also just LGBT people in general. I want to spend this video dissecting this and trying to analyze where it comes from. And as always, I'm so curious what you guys are seeing, observing, and what your thoughts are on all this. According to a June 2026 Gallup poll, overall public support of same-sex marriage has dropped to 65% from 71% just a few years ago. Only about 35% of Republicans now see same-sex relationships as morally acceptable, which, to be honest, doesn't surprise me at all as a stat. But what's interesting is this has decreased from 56% just 4 years ago. A lot of this backlash seems to revolve around a general feeling of public fatigue related to so many LGBT issues being hyper focused on the last couple of years, notably trans issues around trans rights, trans legislation, and so on. Now, while I wonder how much of this effect we're seeing is related to the current presidential administration in the US, I've also found some information that seems to indicate people are also just catching up to how performative these corporate brands have been with pride, which is what I mentioned at the start of this video. And so some of the backlash might just be coming from that people don't want to see this anymore because they know it's disingenuous. Now, the final thing that I found really interesting when I did research for this video is that a lot of this seems to also be related to internal LGBT community sentiments. A 2026 survey found that over a quarter of LGBT individuals feel excluded by pride. There are individuals who feel underrepresented as people of color, as transgendered folks, non-binary, or just people who don't fit the general mold of, the imagery that is kind of sold to the public through media and through these brands during Pride Month. Now, that I totally get because no community is ever a monolith. And there is for sure, I feel, this like narrative now of what it looks like to be gay. A lot of it, I feel, even with these corporate brands, there's always this like drag element, which to me is such a specific form of entertainment that is only really relatable for people who go to drag shows or watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, it's such a specific thing that to me personally, it's always felt gimmicky to use that imagery for campaigns, as opposed to, just showing same-sex couples of different races, lesbians and gay guys, different ages, seniors versus, I don't know, college twinks. So I guess the question is, how much of this effect is related to people being sick of talking about LGBT stuff, including LGBT people who have kind of woken up to the tokenism of all this, and how much of it still comes from a bigoted place or an a homophobic place. Tell me what you think in the comments. I would reckon that it's a combination of things, and I feel that sentiments towards communities are always kind of up and down. It's cyclical, in my opinion. In the US right now, I do think there's currently a general sentiment of just exhaustion around all like heavy themes, but I don't think it's particular to just pride or LGBT people. I feel like it's a combination of things. I think it's cumulative, and I think it's been years now in this post-pandemic era of people just being tired of the rage bait stuff and the intensity and the fear mongering of political stuff and the pandemic itself, the Epstein files. It feels like there's just been a lot of noise in the ether for multiple years, and I think pride is probably taking a hit as a side effect.
Get the fag off the TV. I'm not watching that.
Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this and what your observations are this June.